the funny thing just happened. I spent about 5 minutes playing with the orientation of the video, and YouTube is asking me change orientation. So I change again, and it was like change the orientation of the screen and change again. And one of the biggest signs that I've been getting um, for the last week is, there is adjustments being made in our perspectives, in a way of looking at life. There are also understanding that our reality is fluid, it's vulnerable in a way, because we're here to create our reality. And sometimes just a small change of angle, perspective, the view, point of view, as people say, POV, um, can make a huge difference to how we perceive our current situation or a past situation or even the future, in terms of finding solutions, in terms of finding new ways of continuing. It's almost like we're sitting in a space and time that we're able to see different ways of doing the same thing, and through those different lines, different ways, different timelines, you can also perceive a little bit further in the future. But you also have been able to reflect and thought and felt the timeline behind you, and realize that if you have done it in a slightly different way, today could have been a different situation. So there's a lot of adjustments coming through our mind, through our heart, through our energy, emotions. And that's why perhaps it's feeling a bit overwhelming, confusing, um, and delusional. I think the word can go as far as delusional or illusional. Okay. My heart is really glowing at the moment, so I would like to sit and ground the energy with myself. Ask our guides, your guides, my guides, to work through our higher self and our soul to help us understand the messages that are coming through the card, if they resonate with us, that we understand it through our own stories. And I ask our angels and guides to protect the space, to create a portal that we can merge into with our energies, with our love, so that we can see these adjustments through the lenses of unconditional love. That if we sense and feel guilt, blame, and shame, that we're able to see it through, acknowledge, release, and not spend a lot of time in that, so that we can perceive through the adjustment of those lenses of unconditional love. This is the journey of anyone's on earth. This is the journey of empath. This is the journey of narcissists. This is the journey of anyone. They're here on earth seeking the truth of their own unconditional love, to merge with the unconditional love of others. And I hope the message perceive and adjusts our lenses for this purpose. So I'm gonna start speaking, opening up the cards. They've been picked before, and they're ready. They're ready. The road is clear. I just heard a horn right after I said we're ready, and before I flipped the card. You know what to do. Walk it your way. This is a beautiful, beautiful light portal surrounded by ancient walls of stones. and perhaps you are realizing that you are standing in your own feet. Okay, maybe in the last few days you have experienced hip, knees and feet and toes pain, and they weren't horrible pain, but they were just there in the background. Nothing that you needed to perhaps go for medication, but something that you just noticed and you started to question, why am my knee hurting? And they didn't last long either, okay? And perhaps you have taken steps to stand on your own feet, to make your own decisions through your own intuition. Perhaps you are starting to walk in your own steps when you are in your day-to-day activity, and you are releasing these blockages through the pain. The pain is a sign of release. Not all pain can be specifically a symptom of ascension. Of course, if you're worried, please get checked up with your doctor. But we do release when we are stepping and shifting and integrating. Sometimes we can also experience pain. Doesn't mean that just because we're experiencing pain, we are actually being reminded that we are blocked, but we can also experience pain when releasing that blockage. So it's just a reminder that pain doesn't come in just one source, right? Pain is duality. So you can have pain for feeling blocked, and you can have pain for releasing the blockage. So just a reminder. The green tower. The green reminds me of the heart chakra, okay? And the Buddha of enlightened action. My soul informs my every step. I do what my heart compels me to do. And perhaps you are walking through your own steps, but you are feeling more guided through your heart. Perhaps you are finding those moments where your heart is speaking to you and you're feeling your aura, you're feeling your energy field, and your heart is glowing. I call it glowing, activating. You're feeling that expansion in your chest. And it's a sign that it's speaking to you to say a yes. It's a sign that it's speaking to you to say a no. And you are following those decisions through your heart in every step of the way, in every situation, through the day, in your day-to-day activity. And it's very practical. It's very practical. Sometimes, you're about to leave the door, and you're supposed to go at a certain time, but you leave a little bit late, and that is perfect because you're finding that there is a guidance in your heart saying just leave a little bit later. Yeah, perhaps it's saving you from staying in traffic, perhaps it's saving you from seeing an accident, perhaps it's saving you from being in an accident, and you are following that guidance. So not all guidance looks perfect, but you are following that guidance, and you feel like you are stepping more into your own decision making through your heart. Keeping in check. Pay attention to what's going on around you. You might be moving into something too quickly or missing some important details, and perhaps you have decided to keep in check a little bit more with your heart, okay? And slow things down to allow you to give you that moment of checking in. Perhaps in the recent past, maybe through the full moon, the just recent full moon, you have moved too quickly through a few things, missed a couple of important details, because you felt the intuition but didn't stop to check in and definitely, use your discernment through the heart, and realizing those moments where you are shifting between the mind discernment and the heart discernment, and you are finding that gap in between where is the checking in point, right? Is where you go in, take that breath, and you check in just to make sure, is this the heart, is it this the mind? There's nothing wrong with the mind, nothing wrong with the mind. The mind is what's going to bring us inspired action, but when that gap in between is clear, yeah, and closed, so they are merged together, and perhaps you are nearing that merging of your mind and heart gap, and you're sensing it, you're feeling it. Stand firm, lion-hearted. So you are standing firm in your ground, okay? And perhaps you have come through a situation where you know, is, as we say, is not for the faint-hearted. Okay, you have come through this moment of really coming out of your shell, coming out of your skin, being more authentic to yourself, not for others, but for yourself. And you are feeling that strength within yourself. You have come into more of your inner power, and you are finding that your road is more clear. You're standing in your road through your heart, through your firmness, through your understanding of who you are. Okay, and that's beautiful. That's a beautiful card. For my Leos out there, you know, that's just the strength of this lion just says everything. Yeah. The Orion Gate. This card 33 has always come up to show me our origins. Okay, the Orion Gate for me brings the origins, ancient, ancestral, our galactic origin, and we are being guided. We are being guided by the stars. We are connected to the stars. We are being guided by a galactic family, of a soul family out there. And you are sensing and feeling this. You are recognizing this soul family imprint in others as well when you are connecting to others. And that is bringing you reassurance. It's bringing you reassurance that you're a part of this universe and this collective of beings of light, because you are one. Everyone is. Everyone is. Okay? Angel of Rosalind, behold a mystery. This is a chalice. There's a lot of light coming out of this chalice. Okay? It looks like she's got an angel wing and she's within, behind the curtains, and there's people outside. And I think what's trying, and 34 equals 7. 7 is the sign of a spiritual, a ritual, a religion, a space, a temple, is that moment of spirituality with yourself. And however you are learning this, however you are mastering this, okay, behold a mystery, because there's a lot more to learn. We're always learning, and it's not about beholding the mystery out of selfishness, out of not sharing with others, but the way we learn our spirituality, our mastery, it's very unique to each one. We have our own way of perceiving how this mastery is going. Not everyone will understand, and the way other people are mastering this, not everyone will understand, but people will feel it. When you are in touch with that mastery, people will feel and they will understand via soul connection. So beholding the mystery doesn't mean selfishness of not sharing. You are sharing at every single moment that you are present within yourself. But how you learn these is very unique to yourself, very unique to yourself. And it's only for your own reassurance of your own growth, of your own mastery, not others. What you learn through your mastery, yes, you can share and teach, but you teach through your presence for what they need. I'm not here to teach how I've mastered my energy field, and I'm still mastering. Okay, I'm still going through mastery lessons. What I'm saying is, I don't need to teach exactly how it happened to me. I just need to embrace and embody that energy, and that is transferred by soul level through the readings, through my presence with people, through communication, through connection. And this is how the mastery is shared. It ignites something in other people. And back and forth, right? I get ignited a lot and activated a lot by other people as well through their own energy and their mastery, but I don't need to know how they acquire that mastery. I just feel it, and it's a soul connection. Release the dark wound, let love live. Again, 25/7. Through this mastery, through this mastery, you are going to release. You're going to release more dark, wound, darkness, shadow. Also, embrace the shadow. Allow the shadow to be present with you until that moment that the heart takes over and embraces the shadow within your heart, dissolves it alchemizes, and releases. We're not here to push the shadow away. We're not here to put a lid on the shadow. We're here to bring it into a heart space. Let it be felt, let it be expanded. And through that, we're asking our heart to do the work of healing. Clarity will come naturally, organically. Clarity will come perhaps the next few hours after the healing session, perhaps a few days after the healing session. And going through this moment of your darkness, embracing the darkness and allowing the heart to work through it, can be very expansive, can be very heart opening, and trusting that the clarity that you need will come through. The world. And that's just a sign that that trust in that moment of darkness, okay? This is part of your mastery. This is part of your mastery. You're here in the middle of the night, you're healing, okay? You're waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning or 3:33 in the morning, and you are going through your emotions, your sensations in your body that feel heavy, that feel dense. Your legs are restless, you can't sleep, and you're going through it. You're allowing. And then you get to the end and you realize how much your heart has been working with you. How much you've been guided by your heart. Yeah? And green tower, and look at that, how green the world card is. And you realize, and the clarity comes, and you know, you can call it success, but it's that moment of you're breaking through, your shift, you're coming through in a spiritual breaking through shift, okay? And allow this to happen. And it might come in a night, it might come through a situation, it might come through a communication with another person, it might come through something that happens that shakes your foundation, makes you feel vulnerable, makes you feel fearful, makes you feel worried. But you are ready to keep checking in with your heart and making decisions from this space. And it could come from drama, okay? The Knight of Swords is all about things in your head. It's a clever way of using your mind, but perhaps it's not the cleverest way to filter the mind. You know, you need to filter the mind through the heart so that we can filter the drama, we can filter the victimhood, we can filter the you know, the blame, shame and guilt, so that we are working purely through our heart. And when that's happening, all of that is dissolved in your reality. All of that doesn't touch you, okay? And perhaps there's a situation in the past or coming in the future that will bring you a space for you to integrate this checking in, okay? Keeping in check with your heart so that we don't fall into the Knight of Swords drama and situations that just out of control. Perhaps some will be in that situation, and as you step outside and you checking in with your heart, you'll be able to oversee the situation and see, right, I can see the version of me that would have been in that timeline, and you're watching it and you're watching that. And this is what I mean by the road is clear, okay? In the beginning, I think I mentioned about you perhaps in a moment now that you're seeing you in different timelines. In the present moment, you're perhaps seeing the you know, you that if you had done something this way, you would have been in that situation at the moment. If you'd done something that in a different way, you would have been in this situation at the moment. And you can see this merge of these timelines all at once. So you're able to now see how you could have dissolved drama, or perhaps how you did dissolve drama in the current situation. And it's giving you that clear indication that it's all down to keeping in check with your heart. Divine grace, the law of efficiency. I would like to read this, but for now, the law of efficiency. I think when you are in that observing bird's eye view of your own timelines, you are a bit more efficient because you learn from seeing your timelines very clearly, past, present, and future. And because you're able to see it, you're able to learn from that to be able to understand how your actions can create this this change in your reality. Let's have a look here at the book. It's time your life became easier. It's time for you to walk the way of divine grace with trust, simplicity, and acceptance. You do not have to try to make things happen. You can gracefully act without attachment and trust that all will be as it is meant to be. Surrender your struggles now as you allow life to serve you with love and kindness. This is the most efficient use of your energy and will lead to the best results. The law of efficiency encourages us to work smarter rather than always working harder. It's like learning to allow a wave to carry you to shore rather than swimming the entire way with your own efforts alone. I'm going to skip a few things here. The law of efficiency is also sometimes known as the path of least resistance. So this is pretty much what I've been reading all this time. If you think of the Knight of Swords and you have been stepping out of these situations in a way that you can perceive and see how the situation is evolving around you and other people, but you are not necessarily in it. You are somewhat detached because you are seeing all these different versions of yourself playing out in that situation, and you can see the one that would have been right there stuck in the drama and creating that reality for yourself, and then you also have that one that stepped out of it, and you're able to see how different your reality is and not in the drama, completely detached. You're understanding again the law of efficiency, okay? And we can use that law of efficiency in many aspects of our lives. The fact that the path of least resistance doesn't mean that you're not going to when you hit resistance you're just going to back off. That's not what it means, okay? There's resistance is also a duality. Everything is a duality. There's resistance to the point where your intuition is saying don't go there because it's not a path for you. But there is resistance to the point where you need to work through the resistance, not pushing through, but working through the resistance to be able to accomplish something that your soul is guiding you to accomplish. And being able to discern these two resistant points, this duality, which one do we work through, which one do we step back? It's very, very important. It all comes down to checking in with yourself. Interesting enough, my free healing call on the 29th of March at the new moon. There's a link in the description if you want to be part of this call. We will be working with the energy of resistance to be able to, just like that, discern if the resistance is a blockage, discern if the resistance is from the intuition saying don't go there, right? Turn right, don't turn left. And turn right, don't turn left. And for us to be able to feel and be able to discern in the future, so when we come to the resistant point, remembering that resistance is a duality just like anything else, so in which in which duality are we stepping in, okay? And being able to work with that energetically so that it can help us on a practical level, everyday situation. So if you want to join us in this call, the link, it will be in the description, and it will direct you to the link where you can save it and then join in at the day and time. And we're going to be merging with the new moon, which is, the new moon is amazing to help us really discern and pick up the energies that are coming to the surface for us to see. Sometimes we can go through the moon phases without doing any healing, not realizing what's coming up, just going with the emotions. But when we are able to check in with ourselves, check in with our hearts, and really discern what's coming up, we can take that theme that's coming up and use the moon phases to then merge our healing process with it, to be able to integrate it at the end of the healing phases. And be authentic, be yourself. It looks like she's holding a pearl inside of a shell, kind of mystical shell. There's some white doves and there's a rose, and she's just in this state of awe with herself, okay, with himself, herself. She's very happy in her skin. She's, you know, she knows what she wants. She's walking her way. She's checking in with her heart, right? She's feeling enlightened to be able to take enlightened action. She's feeling firm in her own stand, and she's feeling like part of the world. Yeah, she's feeling protected, heard, loved, all by her own energy, all by her own love. It's self-love discovery. Perhaps this is a self-love discovery reading that you are entering right now. You are embracing, integrating. God, that is divine. That self-love discovery journey is divine, is our divinity, is our sovereignty. We are God. We all have fractals of God within us. We are the divine. And being able to realize this, being able to adjust to this can make a huge difference to your life, okay? Can make a huge difference to your life. I like that there's these two circles resembling in the cards with each other. You are a child of God. You are God. You have this divinity within yourself, and you are in that discovery. You are understanding, you are feeling, and you're humble about it. You have cracked down the ego in many different ways, and of course there's always more, but you have cracked down enough that it's below a threshold where you can now feel the threshold of your divinity. Okay, now you're going to work down towards your threshold. And why do I say down? Because in my mind I just see a line going into your heart. The ego is up here, the heart is here. Yeah, a heart level. And this is what we're working towards too. Be you to full. Okay, again, another card of self-love. Hold on, where are all my cards of self-love? There you go. I can't make this up. Okay, all the cards of self-love. Embrace yourself. I like how they also resemble different ages here. This is a very young age. This is midlife. This is later in age. Okay, and in any stage of your life that you're in, you are in that pathway now. You are in that pathway, and you're finding that through your own lessons and wisdom and experiences, you're learning the law of efficiency through working through your blockages, through working through your self-love, through working through finding your divinity and understanding the level of the power of your own divinity. We all have it. We all have on this earth. Base chakra. This mandala looked very powerful, very strong, very red and firm, and yes, and 41 is 5. 5 is change, and you are changing. Okay, this is a primal characteristic of your base chakra. Our base chakra is our foundation. It's our survival mode, but it's also our divinity comes from there. And perhaps maybe connecting with your root chakra a little bit more and grounding with the earth a little bit more at the moment of checking in with your heart can bring more of this authenticity of yourself, that it's been sitting there in your base chakra for a long time, okay, for a long time, allowing you then to understand where's your authenticity coming from. It's not going to come anymore from any traumatic space or any conditioning or programming. You've worked through all that and you're now uncovering your true authenticity, and you're learning to let it come up through your skin, you're learning to let it come up through your voice, you're learning to let it come up through your way of expressing yourself, and maybe connecting a little bit more with your base chakra at the time of checking in with yourself in your heart is a good combined space. So you're going in the heart and the base chakra at the same time. You're illuminating those chakras as you go in, and that will bring your authenticity. Appetite, progress, not perfection. Don't compare yourself to others or judge yourself. Instead, focus upon how far you have come and all that you have learned. And again, it's down to your own lessons. You're checking in with your wisdom. You're checking in with the previous lessons you've had, to the integration that you've done all this time. After each lesson, you are progressing. There's no need for perfection. There's no need to even expect how it's going to look like when you're checking in. It's all about just checking in and allowing the flow to come through. It's progression. It's pure progression. I love these colors. They remind me of Archangel Michael's colors and Metatron as well. And Medicine Mother, honor your inner knowing. Honor your inner knowing. You don't need to say any more about this card. Honor your inner knowing. Yeah, this is your inner knowing. So we have our inner understanding of our conditional love, which is in our heart, but your inner knowing of who you are is in your base chakra, in your root chakra. This is where it is. This is where you're going to find your inner essence. What could you have been if you didn't have the programming and the conditioning and the traumas that you went through? The ones that you already cleared. You already cleared. You already learned the wisdom, and you got your keys from all of those healings. Where are you going now? You're going within still. Okay? And finding your inner essence. Guardian angel. Love yourself unconditionally and ask for help. I feel sadness when I look at this, but I see the feather on the floor and this light coming down. And so many times I have asked for help from my guardian angel and I have received it. Even when I was a child and I didn't see the receiving of it, I did receive it. I just didn't understand. And today I can see the guidance being poured into me in completely different ways. And that comes from the fact that I can see more of my self-love, my authenticity, my inner essence. And through that adjustment, I suppose you could say, I've been able to see the help, and the help is always there. The moment I started trusting that the help was always there was the moment I started seeing, because I chose to see it. I chose to trust and I chose to see. And perhaps this is the moment with your self-love, loving yourself, that you are trusting. You are trusting that you are God, that you are surrounded by God. You are surrounded by this divinity that it's you. Okay, we all are. Everyone on earth has this, and it's a matter of choosing, making that choice. Do you want the drama, or do you want to sit in this space and see the help coming through? You need to hold the timeline that you see and you resonate with the highest good of all. You've seen the timelines in the beginning. I spoke about you seeing all these timelines. Which one do you want to hold? Which one do you want to stand firm on and hold it? Hold that line. Hold that line for yourself. Because when you hold that line for yourself, you hold that line for others. Lady of Light. No, nothing more to say about this, okay? Lady of Light. A man of light, a woman of light. You're a being of light. You're a being of light, and you are stepping into that light. You're understanding how to step into that light now. You are renewing yourself. You are finding this space where you knew you had it, but you haven't been able to step into it. Now you're finding the pathway to it. You're finding the pathway to it, okay? And this is beautiful. Liberation, breaking free from a negative attachment. And perhaps you have been through the King of Swords moment and realized a different timeline. And 2:25, 2 and 5, 7 again, spiritual guidance. You followed your heart through your divine heart. You checked in with yourself. You acted from the heart. And this is a confirmation that you have reached liberation from a negative attachment through your heart. You know you've done it through your heart. And even though it might look like perhaps it was harsh, perhaps you're selfish, these are just confirmations that you moved through the heart. And sometimes that's what I'm saying, no matter how it looks like on the outside, okay? If you know you move through your heart, no matter what it looks like on the outside. The fact that we think it's selfish or harsh sometimes can even be a limiting belief that we need to work through. But the idea is that you have sensed that you moved through your heart and nothing else. If you're not sure, you haven't done it. But if you're sure in your knowingness, if you're sure in your knowingness, then you know you have moved through your heart. And the way it looks on the 3D, the way it looks on the outside, it's a matter of judgment. And you have a choice to look into that and see if you can detach from that as well. This is a powerful message. And the squirrel, the Ace of Wands. I will read the Ace of Wands. Ooh, just dropped the card. Or maybe I won't read it. But the squirrel for me is a powerful message of having fun. It's almost like you've done the job. You know what? You worked hard. Now it's time to have fun. It's time to go out there and just be cheeky. Look at that cheeky nose. And just have fun with yourself. Be present. Be present with yourself. Inspiration. Bright future. False starts. So let's have a look at that. Ace of Wands. I seed my brilliant future with the roots of creativity and inspiration. The squirrel is a very creative being, very cheeky, right? Very, very happy. He's always on the go, always doing something. And the squirrel have come to my life a lot in the beginning, especially during the time that I was shifting through my ascension, that I recorded in it was my diary entry really, and I used to write it in blogs on Facebook. And then one day I decided to take all the blogs and put it into this book. And the square was always there present. And it was a reminder for me to have fun, to enjoy it, which I didn't. I resisted. I resisted to have a laugh. I resisted to smile. I resisted to have fun. And I did it through not very efficient ways of healing. I did it through a very hard way of healing. And when I was editing the book, so where's that law of efficiency? When I was editing the book, I was realizing all this, how much I have overcome and brought myself to a point of the law of efficiency where I was detaching from a lot of things from the heart. I wasn't detaching from, rebelling or anger or anything. It was from the heart. And I realized how much I have worked so hard through those healings. And today in my healing group, this is what I teach. I teach an easier way of healing because I've been through that. And people outcome in a group is very interesting. The subconscious open much easier. There is love towards their own realizations of their truth. They're not sitting in guilt and blame and drama and shame and anything like that. They are not bypassing either. They do feel those things, but there is unconditional love surrounding it, which then allows them to go through that a little bit easier and quicker, and a little bit with with an adjustment, with a it's almost like a blanket of unconditional love is over the guilt, and then it makes them easy to go through that guilt, understand, release it, and then fall into unconditional love. When I was going through this, I didn't allow that blanket to be over me, and I went through the guilt and blame and shame. And when I was editing and I put my reflection on some of the chapters, and I put a reflection back on my own story, and it goes to show, how evolved I was from this journey. But it was a beautiful journey that I wouldn't change it for anything in the world. And this book is to be read like an oracle card. You go in there, you feel the need to read, you feel the need to get a message. You go like this, and you open the book and look at the page I've just come through. Old soul journey. This was my journey, okay? And it's only a 2-minute read, nothing more. And it opens your subconscious to what you're going through at the moment. And a lot of people that have been reading this book has been telling me that when they open the page that they need to open, is exactly what they're going through, and it just gives them a different perspective that they haven't seen before. Again, it's that adjustment, okay? And it really works through your solar plexus. It really works through your heart chakra. You will feel your chakras lighting up, and it's for you to then take the action to heal from what you see, what you perceive about your truth. So yeah, this is the end of the reading. I love this reading. I think I'm going to call it the self-love discovery. And thank you so much for being here. If you want to join our March 29th New Moon Healing Call, please look at the description and you'll be able to find the link as you click on it. Thank you very much.